You're what up, you two? It's your boy Wabi from the Politically Correct Show, featuring my daughter, Confidence. And here we go. I'm gonna get y'all with something a little different for episode 2. I'm gonna just talk about fast food. Uh, to me, I think fast food is gonna disappear in a matter of 15 to 20 years. Not completely, obviously. We're still gonna have crazy chains like McDonald's and Burger King, but I don't think fast food is gonna be like the popular thing. I think even them sale wise are gonna be struggling, and they're probably gonna have to transform into something a little more casual. Probably not casual dining per se, but a more casual dining than what they have, because which means it won't be like super fast food anymore either. It's gonna be like actual casual eating, like where you want to actually sit there, because for the simple fact of their prices, it's basically like eating at like Applebee's. Me and my fiance, we eat at Applebee's a lot. That's our go-to spot if we want to eat. We usually eat once a week. As long as I got the bread or she got the bread for, we usually do that once a week. And we usually go to either Texas Roadhouse or Applebee's, just because of the affordable pricing, and it's not fast food. So I think that's where McDonald's is gonna have to head at some point. Not just McDonald's, but restaurants, fast food restaurants in general. McDonald's are gonna be the last people to do it, because obviously they're the biggest chain and they have trillions and trillions of dollars. So I mean, there's just no way that they're just gonna be struggling in 15 to 20 years. But 15 to 20 years, I believe a good fraction of fast food restaurants are going to be either extinct in the whole, struggling, or closing down shops because, downsizing, because it's not affordable for broke people anymore. And that's what fast food was really for, is for conveniency and for when you was broke. And then, obviously now it's literally taste. Like, the only reason why people eat fast food now is because maybe they want a taste of something. Or at least me personally, that's when I eat fast food, is if I want a Big Mac and, we want to eat something that's not in the house, I'll be like, yeah, I want McDonald's. I want a Big Mac. But it's only like a Big Mac and like a McDouble. It's not the whole menu, because the whole menu is expensive. Might as well go to Applebee's. But I mean, that's why it's not it's not popping no more. And then on top of that, nobody's really going to the restaurants anymore. They're door dashing stuff, and now you can DoorDash um casual restaurant stuff. You can DoorDash Applebee's if you want. You can DoorDash. I saw my brother, he be DoorDashing Mexican food, tacos. So that brings the heat on Taco Bell, because Taco Bell was accessible with DoorDash, and then all of these smaller restaurants got DoorDash. Now all these smaller restaurants that cook better, or all these casual franchises that cook better, they they're still into DoorDash customers, because I mean, what do you rather have? Authentic tacos that taste really good to your doorstep, or Taco Bell, and it's almost the same price, because three of those tacos are like six of Taco Bell tacos. if you take account of the quality of the ingredients, and also you take account of how much food they put on each taco. You know what I'm saying? It all adds up to basically being the same thing if you're talking about not starving yourself and not being hungry. So at the end of the day, that's what that's what fast food was meant for. And now casual restaurants are still in the shine because things are just more accessible now. It's just the way it works. There's just some nothing destroys time. There's always going to be something to destroy. I learned that with the Warriors when the Warriors started to be on their thing, and then Curry got hurt, and Clay got hurt, and KD got hurt, and then the Raptors won, and then the band broke up. Like, time destroys everything. And fast food, I think, is one of those things where time is, if it's not destroying, it's definitely whooping fast food franchises' ass right now because, they just can't get it right, and it's like, what more can you do? Like, they've came up with all of the special promotions and different foods, and they're even promoting promotions and stuff. It's became repetitive. The food's just not of the quality of the price, so thus people don't go. you know Now people might go for convenience, but you're gonna need more than convenience in this expensive world. That's why your price is going up, because it's an expensive world. And I would say put the prices down, because that's what I want. Like, I think that they could find a way to start getting some deals. And like, remember the 2 for 5s and stuff? Like, they don't have deals like that no more. So I thought that was the point of fast food restaurants, is for those deals. So that's what I would think they would do. But the problem with that is, the expense. I don't own a franchise. I'm not a franchisee, so I wouldn't know. So it might be the price. You might not be able to afford to make deals. So I don't know. Make it more casual, I guess. That's probably what I would do. I'd probably, if I was a franchisee right now, I'd either try to find a way to get out of that and be casual, or find a way to make my fast food restaurant casual. Which, if you're a franchisee, you can't make your restaurant casual. The headquarters of the company, the owner of the company has to, or the president, whoever, the creative director, whoever, has to okay that for your franchise. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it got to go through so many heads. So you personally won't be able to figure that out. Your owners have to. That's why it's 100% important to own something for creative control. Because, if you're a franchisee right now, you're wondering, like, what's gonna happen, because you spend a lot of money trying to be a franchisee. You gotta put money up, and then not only that, but you pay for all this stuff and this, that, and the third, and you don't get all of the money either. So, franchisees make a lot of money, but if the fast food industry declines as fast as it's declining, and it keeps declining, then these franchisees are going to be broke. So when you're a franchisee, you're just wondering, like, what's going to happen? Is my owner trying to make things better? How can they make things better? And if so, what's the ramifications? You know? So it's a very scary time for a fast food franchisee right now. So, uh, yeah, that's what I got for fast food restaurants. Um, I'm gonna talk about James Harden real quick. James Harden, one of my favorite basketball players of all time. I was just watching a video of James Harden and that GM Daryl Morley or something like that. That GM. I'm not really good with GM names, but anyways, the GM. He used to be a GM of the Rockets, and then he used to be a GM, or at least he still is. He still is the GM of the 76ers, and how they got together. And I feel like that was a perfect example of do not let your players have too much control, because the players can talk all day about how you know the ownership does this to them and does that to them, but a player will do the same exact way to the team. And I'm not talking about the owner, because the owner got $1 billion, whatever, cool. But the team, your teammates, because when James Harden goes and says, "I don't want to play for this team," Joel Embiid gets punished for it. Tyrese Maxey gets punished for it. PJ Tucker gets punished for it. Like, that's why I mess with James Harden. He's one of my favorite players of my generation. He's one of the best scorers of all time, and he's also the reason why I grew this nice ass beard that a lot of people wish they had. But at the end of the day, man, for one, I wanted this beard since I was 6, and then for two, not only that, but I don't like traitors. I don't like people who just quit on somebody just because they feel like it, just because it's convenient for them. I like people who can stick it in the mud with their folks, with their people. I'd rather you lose with your folks than you just win by yourself and, forget about everybody. Not on some, oh, well, you're not on the same uh, mode as me, because that happens. People fall apart because some people are on a different focus than the others. But, if you're on the same focus, you're on the same level, the only thing you can do is help your boy get to that level that y'all both want to be on. And that means help, not the first second you gain some success and he's probably down a little bit and you just run away. You know what I'm saying? Like, the team's probably down a little bit and you just leave. Like, they could have put something together, made it, and won a chip. I think James Harden leaves too quick. I give the only person who I know who did it right to me is Damian Leonard. Damian Leonard did it right, even though he doesn't have a chip yet either. But I feel like Damian Leonard, when he left the Trailblazers and went to the Bucks, it was about damn time. At that point, it was about time. He was getting snubbed in the All-Star games, and then not only when the All-Stars really mattered, and then he was also not getting the chip. So, he wasn't getting it done there, so he left, and that's perfectly understandable. But you know, James Harden went to the Thunder, to the Rockets, which that wasn't really his fault. He got traded there, and then he went to the Nets, and then he went to the 76ers, and then he didn't like it there either, so he went to the Clippers, and who only God knows where he's gonna go next. So at the end of the day, James Harden is somebody who you can't trust. If I was on his team and he was just traded on my team, I would have been like, well, I can't trust him, because he leaves everywhere. He leaves everywhere he goes, and he's never happy. And he's never won a chip nowhere either. So what's there not to be happy about? So that's episode 2 for y'all. With that being said, God bless you. God bless America. God bless the first state. It's Wabi. I'm out.